And potential voters are encouraged to update their particulars or register for the 2024 general elections. But a sobering reality remains for a marginalized community, the homeless. The homeless often find themselves excluded from this process due to not possessing any identity documents. Nasiphi Same joins us now live for more. Nasiphi, good afternoon to you. From what you've seen yesterday and today, how are the homeless people there interacting with the IEC? Do they have the particulars? Are they interested to register to vote? What have you seen?
Well, Clement, obviously in a democracy, every voice and every vote matters. And as you put it, what happens to, the homeless people? Is it a case of their voice is voiceless? But having engaged with the homeless community or people in the homeless community last week, leading up to today, which is voter registration weekend, many of them indicating their concerns when it comes to the fact that others do not possess identity documents. Others are saying that they've been stolen while living in the streets. However, they do also have an opportunity to go to Home Affairs and have, rather, to apply for a temporary identity document. However, they then, have their backs against the wall whether or not they'll be spending over 100 Rand to have an identity document replaced, or will they use that 100 Rand or 140 Rand towards something that will obviously be sustaining them. But to talk to us more perhaps about the challenges that the homeless community are facing, particularly when it comes to registration during this weekend and also voting, I'm joined by Peter Solomon, the director of the Hope Exchange. Sir, thank you so much for your time. But, having engaged with the homeless community and the fact that many of them indicating that they would love to participate in the upcoming elections, what do you make out of, some of the conversations that you have with them?
I think the biggest issue is having an ID document. So the Hope Exchange exists to help the homeless, and we do that in three main areas. One is to improve the lives of those living on the street. Two is to support human development. And three, ultimately, all of our efforts are aimed at the third objective, which is reintegration and reunification. Reintegration into society and reunification with family or a family unit. So along that way on those many steps and the journeys and of the services that we do offer is support in getting ID documents. Because without an ID document you cannot register to vote. So that is one area where we are involved relative to voting and the upcoming elections. Another area is to make our clients aware of the opportunity to register and opportunity to vote. We have as an organisation attempted to have our venue become a voting registration centre for our homeless clients because they are familiar with it, they're comfortable because we have streams of homeless people visiting our premises each day. But it wasn't possible because the law prescribes that there can only be one voting station or registration centre per district, and there already is one, which is the Civic Centre in Cape Town.
And how important was it, Peter, this decision that you took in trying to make the Hope Exchange a voting centre, or even a place where the homeless community can come and get assisted when it comes to registering to vote?
It was a really important opportunity for us to also show the rest of society that homeless people count. Homeless people have a voice. Homeless people are citizens of South Africa as anyone else is, and should not be impeded from exercising their constitutional right to vote. So that was the importance behind that, of us considering this opportunity and exploring ways in which we could support our homeless clients in that way.
Peter, we probably have about 200,000, if I'm correct, homeless people throughout the country, and these were numbers prior COVID, and I'd like to assume that those numbers have increased. How many homeless people do we have, perhaps in the city centre, or rather in the city of Cape Town? And Would you say that they're being left behind when it comes to this very important electoral process of registering to vote and even next year voting?
Yes, you're correct. There are about 200,000 homeless people across the country. The most recent research indicates that there are more than 14,000 in the Cape Town metropole. And with us being in the CBD, there are about 1,000 people within the CBD where we operate. So that number is significant. It is really, really important that everybody knows that the homeless get left behind because they are often unseen, they are marginalized, and this is our effort to try and allow them to exercise their voice as well.
Last week, I think Thursday, if not Wednesday, having spoken to a few people that are part of the homeless community, they indicated that they were not even aware that this weekend is actually a voter registration weekend, and saying that as much as they feel that they are invisible, they would love for political parties, including government, to not only pay note to them, but to inform them about, instances like this weekend. Would you say that more needs to be done in reaching out to the various homeless communities, not only in Cape Town, but throughout the country?
Yes, indeed. You've taken the words from my mouth. I think much more can be done to increase the awareness around this time and to make sure that every sector of society is included.
Thank you so much, Peter Solomon there, the director of the Hope Exchange here in the CBD, indicating that every voice matters when it comes to voter registration, including the upcoming general elections of 2024. And hopefully, government will be making that all-important decision, or rather reaching out to the various homeless communities, not only in Cape Town, but throughout the country, in ensuring that many of them have their various identity documents to allow them to register to vote, for them to participate in the 2024 general elections.